How do you show value of your service as a product? Doesn't it feel templatey or cookie cutter? That's the question that I heard on Twitter from Chris Huffnagel last week, and so I'm going to answer it here for you. Yeah, when you're developing a productized service, that can be one of the fears or hesitations, if you will, that it's too streamlined or too much based on a template or cookie cutter, as he put it, and that kind of takes away from the value of the service that a client would buy from you. At least that's the assumption that a lot of people have. I guess I would probably try to push back on that idea in a few different ways. First of all, whether it's a service or a software tool or a physical product, at the end of the day, especially when you're selling to businesses, you need to be solving a particular problem. And really the business owner, all they care about is the problem getting solved, and is it worth the price tag of solving that problem? Like, how painful is the problem painful enough that it's worth it to pay for that solution? And the way that you deliver it, maybe you do use templates, maybe you do use standard operating procedures, but in some ways that is the value, or that adds value to it, right? If you think about it, I have a lot of favorite restaurants that my family and I go eat at, and a lot of them are chain restaurants. To be honest with you, big reason why we go to those places is because we know exactly what to expect. They deliver the goods in a really, really consistent way, and our expectations are always met, or usually met, and that's part of the value. Like, going into it, we don't want that unpredictability, especially when we're when we're with our two little kids who expect to have their meal just the way that they want it. The same is true for business products as well. You want to go into it when you're purchasing a product or a service. You want to try to minimize the risk, minimize that unpredictability, and so that's why I always believe that productized services are actually easier for clients to buy, because it answers a lot of those questions of unpredictability. You kind of see it all laid out there. This is what's included. You see that it's been done before for other clients, and it solves the problem successfully, so it makes it easier to invest your time and money into buying that service. The last point that I'd make here is that even though the way that you deliver the service may use templates or standard operating procedures, it may feel cookie cutter in its operations, the final product can very much be an original, unique work. Take, for example, my current business, Audience Ops. We do blog content as a service. Now, every article that we deliver for clients is 100% unique, original, tailored to each particular client's audience, their product, their business, their industry. We don't reuse content from one client to another, of course, but the way that we create the content follows the same creative process. The way that the tools that we use all the same tools for every single client. Like, we use a mix of Google Docs, and we use Ops Calendar, we use Trello, we use Slack. The schedule and how we produce content and deliver to the client, we follow the same standard schedule from week to week. Every client's content gets delivered in the same turnaround time, and every article that we do does follow the same checklist. So we always deliver X number of words, and we always do a content upgrade, we always do an email newsletter, and we follow certain guidelines on how we produce those things. But again, the content itself, the words, the ideas, the insights, those are 100% unique in each individual case. So I think there are ways to streamline and templatize, if you will, services. I think that's a big part of building a successful productized service, is finding those ways to streamline the solution so that you can scale it up and put people in place in a system that can ultimately run without you, and keep costs down as well. That's another big part of this, right? So by using templates and standard operating procedures and doing things in a very standard, streamlined way, that enables you to keep your costs down. Either that means you need to hire fewer people, or you don't need as many advanced people who can handle custom solutions, or custom fitting different solutions for different different clients and whatnot, that's what can add to costs in like an agency environment. But in a productized service, you can keep those costs down by streamlining with templates and systems and processes. And ultimately, that keeps the cost down for the client, and that factors into their judgment of, is this valuable? Is it a strong return on investment? So if it's solving that problem and it costs a little bit less and it's more predictable, and maybe I can even get it faster than I would with a custom agency, I mean, I'd say that's adding a lot of value for the client. So so that goes right to the question that Chris asked. How do you show the value of your service? Just lay it all out there. How you do, what the solution looks like, what is the particular problem that it solves, and clients can judge for themselves, particularly if they are your target customer. Does it solve the problem at a cost that makes sense? Hope that helps.